Learn Japanese book reviews. Today I'll be reviewing Japanese in 30 Days, read and write Japanese scripts, and teach yourself complete Japanese. Starting with Japanese in 30 Days, which I think really should be called Japanese in 30 Chapters. Obviously the title's implying that it wants you to do a chapter a day, and you shouldn't if you're very diligent about it, and don't skip ahead chapters because you can't learn faster than what your brain will let you. But if you do say one chapter twice a day, once before breakfast and once before going to bed, then it will sink in more, and even after a couple of days revise old chapters. Comes in a nice little bound thing like this with 2 CDs to listen to and translate. The whole book is in the Romanized system that Japanese use, like that. It's got little tests in there as you go. Listen to dialogue, practice the words. I would recommend this book for absolute beginners. So no Japanese knowledge whatsoever. Japanese in 30 days. And if you're just focusing on the speaking and listening, and you're not too worried about the writing system so much, you just want to know that. I'll get to the writing one in a bit, Japanese scripts, but before that I'll get to teach yourselves complete Japanese from beginner to level 4. Right there are other books in this series such as Fast Track Japanese, which is beginner to level 2, and Easy Japanese and Let's Learn Japanese, but this one I thought was very well structured. It introduces you to the language, and it has a bit of a story. These characters, each time it goes through, those characters called Ian and Ri, and they go through their journey and you meet them, so it's like a little story that you can learn, and you learn along with them. Then it's got your counting, but this book is actually separated into 2 sections. First section is introducing you to the language, how it works, how the structure works, how the grammar works, and then part 2 is extending and manipulating the language, and you can see there that you can learn the writing system if you wish. So once you've learned the first half of the book, you can manipulate the language and learn how to move words around in a sentence and sound more natural. At the back of each chapter in this book is a section on how to learn the writing system, which you don't have to do if you don't want to. So again, Japanese in 30 Days and this book, it's mainly aimed at those people wanting to just listen and learn how to speak the language, but writing in this is optional. If you just want to learn how to read and write, this book, Teach Yourself Read and Write Japanese Scripts. This is unique in that it teaches you kanji first, then hiragana, then katakana. Most books do it the opposite way around. They teach hiragana first, because that's what children in Japanese schools learns first, then katakana, which is for words borrowed from other languages, or emphasis, and then kanji. But what this also does in a reverse order is rather interesting. It teaches you the reading of the kanji first. That, see, for example, mountain, river, money, rice field, bamboo, water, tree, forest, woods, water. Oops, sorry. That's fire. That one there is fire. That's water. It doesn't even teach you the pronunciation first, and it teaches you the kanji for days as you go through. That wasn't a kanji for a day. But then names, then how they fit together. Then it will teach you how to write the kanji and how to pronounce the kanji, and that there are Japanese readings and Chinese readings for the kanji. So if you just want to learn to read and write, I know there's a lot of Japanese video games that you might be into, or you might have younger family members that would be into. I strongly recommend this for learning to read and write. You'll know about a 90 kanji by the end of it, so that'll be okay for some of the simpler video games. This I recommend if you want to learn to listen and speak to the language and you're planning on going there for a bit longer than just 2 weeks. This, well, level 4 is described in the book as can understand the main ideas of complex text on both concrete and abstract topics, including technical discussions in his/her field of specialization, can interact with a degree of fluency and spontaneity that makes regular interaction with native speakers quite possible without strain for either party, can produce clear, detailed text on a wide range of subjects and explain a viewpoint on a topical issue, giving you the advantages and disadvantages of various options. So that's basically conversationally fluent from this book if you practice very hard every day. I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10, I guess. Strictly for reading, I'm going to give this 9 out of 10 because I like its sort of reverse approach to this non-typical reverse approach to things, to learning how to read. And for absolute beginners, I give this 8 out of 10, but if you're a little bit, you're sort of past this but not up to this, I'll give this maybe 6 out of 10 because for the thickness of the book, you don't learn as much as you would from a book of relatively equal thickness. You learn more words from this book, but you'll learn more about the structure of the Japanese language and how to use it from this book. Then other than that, it's just a matter of increasing your vocabulary. So 6 out of 10 for non-beginners, 8 out of 10 for beginners. What do I give this? 7 8 out of 10, and 9. I'm gonna give that 9.5 out of 10. So that's it for this week's set of Japanese learning book reviews.